Welcome to the Valley Today, a public service presentation of KAIL TV. What goes around comes around, and 40 years later, I am in the very auto shop class that I attended as a student at Reedley High School in the early 70s. The Valley Regional Occupational Program is our subject today, and the players are Keith Loftus, Jeff Kaczynski, and Deborah Marvin Dieter, educators dedicated to helping our children succeed. The Valley Regional Occupational Program at Reedley High School. Up next on the Valley Today. Welcome to the Valley Today. We are here with Keith Loftus here at Reedley High School at the auto shop.
That's right.
Thanks for being on our show, and thanks for contacting us and putting your best effort forward. And we have a little history together because I took a class from your father back years ago. He was a teacher here also.
That's right.
Science teacher.
That's right.
So, and your mom was a teacher too.
My mom taught at Jefferson School for many years.
And now you're a teacher.
Yeah, in the blood.
Initially, you were in auto repair, right?
Right. And I came here probably 12 years ago.
Wow.
My son was here in school, taking auto shop.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to go over there and see what, how he's doing. And they said they were going to retire, so. The auto shop teacher. So
and that was that Nishimoto or was
that? That was Nishimoto.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I had him when I was in high school.
Yeah. And I had him too because I actually took a class here in, I think, 71, 72, 73. I took auto shop here. I had Mr. Seeley and I had Mr. Nishimoto.
Right.
And now you have stepped into Mr. Nishimoto's shoes.
Yeah. It's come full circle. Full circle.
So in your wildest dreams when you were doing auto repair, did you ever think that you'd be teaching an auto shop class here at Reedley High School, your alma mater?
Yeah, no. I never did, but I like it.
Yeah. And my first impression here, we've already gotten our B-roll here, but coming in here and watching all these kids, they were very polite, very well-behaved. They looked like they had, they were serious. They had focus and purpose.
Right. Right.
And they looked like they were having a great time.
Yeah. Well, by this time, they're all juniors and seniors when they get up. That was Auto 2.
Yeah.
And so they pretty much like it, and they know what they have to do if they want to be in auto.
Yeah.
And
so now, I guess a kid can get in here at a freshman level and take a small engine.
Right. We have a small engine class. It's in another shop over there, and mostly freshmen. We have about 100 freshmen that take that.
There had been any kids that have ever just really stood out, kids that were just getting into high school and said, man, this kid already knows quite a bit.
Yeah, some.
Yeah.
Some, but once they get through, you see them, once they get through small engines, they always want to keep doing other stuff. And then the next year they can take Auto 1. And then this was the advanced class. So
This is it right before they graduate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of these kids are already asking me, how's Reedley College, or how about this school, or any of the tech schools. So.
And really, the focus is to have kids starting to think about if they're not going to go to college, that they can have a technical career that they can shoot for.
Sure. There's some kids they're not even thinking college. They're thinking a tech school and getting out and working.
Right.
They just like to do it. So.
Yeah. You guys have got all the cool toys. Some of this is coming back. I'm wondering if any of this was here when I was taking auto shop 40 years ago, but certainly not this aluminum radiator. But
no, but we've got some old antiques here. These were probably here when I was here.
Yeah, and you were here from
74 to 78.
Yeah.
So, and some people ask why we still keep them around because new technology, but. It's good for the kids to work on these old machines so they get used to it, and then they can move into higher tech.
And it's really changed since I was here in the early 70s. It was just ignition system and a carburetor. Injections really hadn't come on the scene yet. Air conditioning certainly was there. It was the old R12. But, now you've got these technologically advanced vehicles that have got computers, fuel injection, and the game has really changed.
Yeah, this is Auto 2 is going to be, that's usually their area over there where they're working.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of computer-controlled handheld computers that they can use.
Yeah.
So we got 2 or 3. So we're pretty up to date on all of our stuff for the newer cars.
Yeah.
But this is mostly for the Auto 1. The reason why Auto 2 was here today is because they were doing some compression checks for some different tests we're doing. But,
so do you ever go through this stuff and you'll make a motor funky? You know, you'll pull a plug wire, or
yeah, all the time.
or you'll put a little lead on the top of the distributor cap.
All the time we do something, yeah. So see why it's missing, what it sounds like when an engine's missing. Yeah, we do all kinds of stuff.
Pretty impressive.
We've got a good shop.
Yeah.
A good, well-equipped shop.
And the mind blower is the Prius. You got a Prius in here.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That is okay. I mean, this is the 21st century technology.
That's right.
You know?
But I will tell you this. It took me about 5 minutes to get it from the parking lot right there to in here.
What's that?
I don't know.
I
even had the owner have to come out and he had to push the buttons for me. I don't know.
Really?
So, I don't know. I was just pushing the wrong buttons, I guess. But
and this is really technologically advanced because this is a hybrid with electric motor. It's got a gas engine that generates electricity, but it's not a direct drive. It drives an electric motor that drives the wheels.
Right.
It gets recaptured energy.
It's very high tech.
Yeah.
But
and so are you able to teach
to work
with
on
this?
it much?
Yeah.
Not too much. We go over a couple of videos of these, but not too much.
Right.
But, yeah, you know, it's just something different than the kids are going to see somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
So.
Now, do you have anything to say as far as ROP and how important it is?
Well, for me, I mean, it's very important.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's your life.
When I came out of this school, that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I didn't care about going to four-year college or anything. I wanted to learn how to work on cars, and that's what I made my life at it. I've been in it 30 years now.
That's great.
And so I could see the benefit because I was one of those kids, man. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I didn't, you know.
Did you ever envision that you'd be teaching this class?
Never.
When you were a senior in high school?
No, never. Never envisioned teaching at all,
Yeah.
period. But, you know, it came full circle, and I'm glad I'm doing it. Kind of give back, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, Keith Loftus, thank you for being on the Valley today, and thanks for stepping up and you know, teaching these kids, because this is important. This is one of those things in high school that will stick with a lot of these kids.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. We are now with Jeff Kaczynski here at Woodshop here at Reedley High. And how long have you been teaching?
I've been at Reedley High School since '94.
Yeah?
I started teaching shop in '84.
Where did you start teaching at?
Seaside High School in Monterey.
Oh, and now you're at Reedley.
And now I'm at Reedley High.
Yeah, do you miss Monterey?
Actually, today reminds me of Monterey.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons I left Monterey was it's a great place to visit. It's always sunny when people visit.
Yeah.
But when you live there,
it's always foggy.
Yeah, we had 29 days of fog in summer school.
Yeah.
One year.
Wow.
When I was teaching there. So, and it's a little more expensive when you go to try and buy a house or something. At that time, I was looking to start a family and buy a house, and so.
And it's really expensive now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take us through Woodshop. What would the kids start when they're freshmen?
Freshmen, you can take Woodshop as a freshman, so you have that opportunity. Since we really don't have industrial arts at the junior highs like we used to when we were in school,
right?
You had that opportunity. So, so this is their first experience with woodworking. A lot of kids haven't picked up a hammer. You know, they don't know what a hammer is or how to use a hammer, and so we have to start with square one and teach them how to use the hand tools, and then we work our way through the power tools. So by the end of the first year, my goal is to have them have had an experience on all of the tools.
And you know, this is originally one of the arts. You know, I mean, the people they built stuff with wood.
Right.
You know, that was one of the earliest craftsmanship was with wood. So that's kind of cool.
It can be. There's a lot of design work and freedom involved in it. With an artistic.
So what are kids building when they've been in this class? If they take it again and again, you know, sophomore, junior, senior, what are they working on in their senior year?
By their senior year, they have a couple of opportunities. Usually by the senior year, they're on individual project where they decide what they want to build. Usually what kids will work on is large-scale cabinets, maybe bookshelves, molding, crown molding around it, something like that. It's a little fancier. Entertainment center type thing.
Yeah.
Is something that I've had kids that have worked on as seniors that go through. What we try to do with the progression or the sequence is we try to include construction technology, which is residential construction, and that's what the Valley ROP program offers. We're not currently running it this year. We ran it last year, and we'll look to run it again next year, where we get into housing construction, we get into framing, and normally what we'll do is we'll do that on a small scale, like a tough shed type thing.
Okay, something that's a little more manageable, other than a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Yeah.
Right, like we had talked back in the old days, they used to have, and some schools still do have, construction class where they'll build a house over the course of a year or two.
Right.
They'll do a construction class. We don't have that class, but we have the construction class, and like I said, it's the same principles. We'll go over framing, go over roofing, and all that.
Wow. Yeah, because I remember when I was here in the early 70s that Mr. Hassett was teaching, I don't know if he's teaching woodshop, but certainly he was teaching a course where they would actually start and build a house, and at the end of the year, around June, the house would be don, and they would sell it. They would auction it off.
Sell it and recoup their cost, and then reinvest that and start another project.
I think he'd have, it was 7 or 8 classes throughout the day.
Right.
So a class would come in and they'd do a little work, and then they'd go to their next class, and at the end of the year, here was this house, this 2-bedroom, 2-bath, I think, and
it's
pretty impressive.
Fresno City does that.
Yeah.
With their program, and then there's, like I said, there's a couple ROP programs around it that have that luxury.
Yeah.
The catch is you have to have a licensed contractor on board. Because
he has to sign it off. He's got his name on the line.
He's got to have that. Yeah. So that I'm not a licensed contractor, so I'd have to have somebody come in to do that.
Yeah.
To help me out with that.
So you've been here since '94. Have any of your students gone on to be contractors or roofing contractors or remodel or kitchen and bath?
I've been on and off with the woodworking program in that time. My main focus is in the drafting class, and so I've got the architectural and mechanical drawing and architecture, and so I've been in and out of the wood. We've had a number of teachers that have taught here. Mr. Seeley, when I started out, he and I were both teaching classes. He taught a couple periods, I taught a couple periods.
Seeley was still here in '94?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we both were teaching, at that time we were both teaching some classes and going through. But to answer your question, as far as kids that, off the top of my head, I can't name a student, but I've talked to them in the past, some kids that have come back that are using that, and
what great opportunity, to be able to come in here and to be able to, learn these skills, to be able to take that out into the world.
I think the biggest thing that you get out of it is when you finish and you're able to see a finished product.
Right.
You can drive by. There's a house I built.
Yeah. Right.
It's tangible there.
Right.
Everybody can see it. And it's you can be proud of the work that you've done, and it's it's not just an idea that happened. It's there.
And now you're teaching computer assist design, CAD design, and that was we didn't even have that in the.
Well, when I started here in '94, we were still doing board drafting. Everything was pencil and paper.
Do you still teach board drafting?
We have no board drafting
at all. No board drafting. It's now computer.
Everything from day one, we start on the computer.
Computers didn't exist other than at NASA when I was going to school here. The only computers were the supercomputers that probably Cray was building. And the computers, the personal computers weren't even a thought yet. In '73, no cell phones, no PDA, none of this stuff. I mean,
now you're really dating yourself.
I know I am, but I'm just saying that.
Well, it amazes me because when I was at Cal Poly as a student, probably in 1980, we had the department, Lockheed donated $150,000 CAD program which is not even near as good as what we have now.
Right, on a little PC.
Yeah, you know, that we're using, that, you know, what we spend $5,000 for, and they spent at that time it was worth $150,000 to bring this in.
We're out of time. Any last thoughts, Jeff?
You know, it's just the Industrial Arts program, the Voc Ed program, career technical education is something that I think all students need to explore and take an opportunity to work with their hands and see if there's a skill that they may want to make a living out of, because it's a definite living.
Thanks for being on the Valley today.
Well, thank you.
And you know, you've carried on some great work from the folks that have been here from the past. You know, and I think that they would be proud of you. I know Mr. Hassett has passed away that taught woodshop, but I think he would be proud of this program. You run the ROP program for the 6 cities here?
5 school districts.
5 school districts?
Yes.
Okay.
Kingsburg, Selma, Parlier, Kings Canyon, which is Reedley and Orange Cove, and Sanger.
Sanger? Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah.
And some of the schools have different focus depending on what district you're in. This one certainly has auto shop and woodworking, but tell us about some of the other programs at the other schools.
Well, we have everything from obviously the automotive program all the way to computer technology, intro to teaching classes, careers with children, culinary arts, nursing programs on 4 campuses, criminal justice, crime scene investigation classes.
CSI?
Yeah,
wow.
They do CSI on all 6 campuses.
Really?
Actually, yeah, it's a real popular program.
Yeah.
We have Wildland Fire Science program that's actually held at Reedley College. And we also have the aviation technician program at Reedley College.
Oh, okay. So some of these kids are going over to the Reedley College campus and taking courses there too.
Correct, yeah. They travel from their high school campus over to the college, and they are actually taking college classes.
Very cool.
Yeah, a lot of our classes, I think probably 85% of them are articulated with the community colleges, which means that the kids are in our classes at the high school level, at the high school campus, but they count for college credits.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, so they get a head start, and also it just ties them into those programs so that they've gotten the lower level prerequisite classes done at the high school. They can go into the college.
And it keeps that momentum going, because certainly a lot of kids will get out of high school and they go, well, I'm done.
Yes.
But if they've been indoctrinated to the junior college, then the transition's probably a little easier.
Exactly. It connects them and links them to the college. And especially being able to go onto the college campus and take the classes, there's that fear level that's now gone.
Right.
You know, it's not so intimidating that they're a little high school kid going to the college campus. They're now a big high school kid going to the college campus.
And you know, I can relate to that fear factor, because I went to a little country school, K through 8, and then I came here to Reedley High School, and oh, this was a scary world from a kid coming from a little country school, you know.
Well, you'd be surprised. Our kids are kind of small town kids. They think they're real sophisticated, but they're really very small town kids. And even sometimes going to Fresno City College is kind of scary for them.
Sure.
So, yeah, we try to give as many opportunities as we can for the kids to connect them to college, even though what we're trying to do is connect them to a career. That's our main focus.
Yeah.
Is connect them to some kind of career for the rest of their life. We also want them to know that post-secondary education, whether it's at a technical level or the community college level, that they need to continue with that also.
Sure. And your funding is kind of a little in jeopardy, isn't it?
Yeah, our funding is in jeopardy right now. Actually, ROPs have been in existence since the late 60s.
Yeah.
Valley ROP since 1971. So we're at exactly 40 years. And it's always been categorical funding, and so that means at any time the state could decide to take that funding away. And we've been hit with a 22% cut since 09-10 school year. So we're in our second year of it, and we're looking at 3 more years of it before we actually are able to get back to our base funding. And for us, it would be a huge hit, and a huge hit for my high schools if I had not carried such a large reserve. And I did. I saved money when times were good, and we had a lot of extra money, and I stashed it away in reserves, and so I actually haven't had to cut programs at the 22% level yet.
I think that was smart.
that's probably coming down the road,
Right.
you know, unfortunately. But also, you know, in lean times, I have this philosophy that might work or not, but is that, you know, it's a good time to really evaluate program and know, you know, this is what we need to do, this is what the kids want to do, this is what the labor market's telling us we need to do.
Yeah.
And so what we did this year is we did a career interest survey with all of our freshmen and sophomore students. Obviously with ROP, we don't start with kids until they're juniors and seniors. But we wanted to find out what were those kids at that level thinking that they wanted to do for a career. And so we did it with all of the students at the 6 campuses, the freshman, sophomore students. And it's interesting because here at Reedley High, the automotive program, 45% of the kids, which I think there were about 800 that we surveyed, were interested in going into transportation into the automotive program.
Interesting.
So that's alive and well. That's a program that's, you know, there's a demand for auto technicians. And labor market demand growth of about 10% in the next 5 years. So that's a good sign, you know, that what we do counts, matters. We're not setting up circus tents here. You know, we're training them for real.
Well, this is real world experience, real world training. Yeah. How long have you been in the ROP?
Actually, I've been director. This is my 13th year.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I was at Selma High and I taught ROP. An after-school class, and then when I became an administrator, I acted as a business ed coordinator for them. So I've kind of been related to Valley ROP for at least 17 years.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's a dream job for me because I know what we do really matters. And it's not that the other part of education doesn't matter. Of course, it does very much. But it's really wonderful to see how our programs will connect a kid.
Yeah.
To something for the rest of their life.
It's like Jeff said, it's tangible. This is things where they can get their hands on it and they can do something and they can see the results physically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of our kids all over the world they like to manually work with things.
Sure.
It's, you know, I mean, they sit in a classroom and they do English and math and science and they, you know, those are required classes and they have to do it. And then they have a respite and they get to come and work with their hands and they get to build things and make things and take them home and know that, like you said earlier when we used to build a house, you know, in town, I have had people come back to me, adults, and say, you run the ROP? And I say, yeah. And they said, I built that house on the corner of whatever and that whatever, you know, as an ROP class 40 years ago.
Standing testimonials.
That's right.
Wow.
And I drive my kids by and tell them I built that house, you know.
Yeah.
So those are really cool things.
We're almost out of time, Debbie. Do you have any last thoughts?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to be able to share our program with the Valley. I think a lot of times we're over kind of in the little corner of Fresno County, and we're a small program, but we do great things. And I appreciate all your time and getting.
Well, we appreciate you being able to help these kids focus and get into something that will be productive for them as they become adults.
Yes,
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
How cool,
You
huh?
could come and teach for me.
What do you think I would teach?
Oh, well, you would teach film studio.
Oh, okay. Well, never thought of that. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I'm qualified.